Good morning to you. Okay, I'm very excited for this next segment. Uh, Finding out what your Tim's order should be if you want to feel good about yourself. When it comes to beverages and food and snacks, you all know that I love my steep tea. So I'm at Tim's quite often. The worst part about traveling internationally when I've been fortunate enough to do it for me is not being able to get the steep tea and being excited about getting back to the airport for that. But, you know, a lot of us, for various reasons, are trying to make better choices about what we are ordering when we are out and on the run, when it comes to fast food, when it comes to your quick beverage, your ice cap, or whatever it might be. I was looking at a piece a while back dealing with some fast food spots, going through the lists of best and worst, and I thought I'd like to see the same thing done for Tim Hortons. So we're lucky enough to be joined by a clinical nutritionist and founder of Caven Nutrition today, Rachel Caven, who has done that for us. Good morning to you, Rachel.
Good morning, Patricia. How are you?
I am very well. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I just put my Tim's order in to have a little pre-lunch before I get on a train right after the show. And so I'll share what that is as we go through the list.
Amazing.
But this is great. A lot of people, obviously, it's part of their routine. Even if you're not in there often, I feel like almost everyone has had the moment where it's the best option at an airport or elsewhere when you're in a rush. And so what those good and bad choices might be is really, really an interesting thing. So we're going to start with, if we can, the drink choice, because a lot of us obviously associate it with being a coffee place. So if you're going in there and you're wanting a beverage, what might be your best option in terms of healthy choice?
Yeah, so I think it's really important when we're eating out because we're doing it all the time now. Like before, maybe 20, 30 years ago, we used to eat out maybe once a month and it was a special occasion and people went all out. Whereas now we're doing it almost every day. A lot of people are doing it every day, or you don't have the option to not if you're traveling, for example. So we want to make the best choices.
So true. I buy groceries and throw them out way more often than I would like because things get so busy and you just find yourself out and not bringing your lunch and spending money. So yes, absolutely. It becomes more important than ever.
Yeah, I think we all do that. So a little bit more than we'd like to admit. So, and I think it's really important as well to be able to go out and choose those best options. So I don't think that you need to bring your lunch and you need to bring your own coffee everywhere you go. Like obviously that's the ideal situation, but you can also go to any place and get something healthy. So if you're going to Tim Hortons, the best drink for you is just a regular coffee or tea. Your steep tea is absolutely amazing. There's almost no calories, like 0 to 50 calories, depending on what you get, no sugar, and it's actually full of antioxidants. So it's an option that's actually really good for you. As long as you're not overdoing it and having, a ton of caffeine every single day and it's giving you anxiety, like 2 to 3 normal size cups, not like extra larges, but 2 to 3 actual cups of coffee or tea is actually really good for you.
Excellent. So, I love that answer.
The issue is what you're adding into it. So
okay,
if you can drink it black or maybe just with a splash of milk or cream, if you're one of the people that you're doing a double every day, that's starting to really add up. So that's 270 calories, 14 grams of fat, and 30 grams of sugar just with your morning coffee. So keep in mind that the daily recommended limit for sugar is 25 grams for women and 36 grams for men. So already if you're just getting a double, you're going over that.
Wow. One double, you're over the recommended sugar limit.
Yeah.
Okay, so
keep that in mind.
I am trying very hard, and the person who's kind enough from here to occasionally run out and get Tim's for me is trying to keep me in line on it too, to go down from 1 sugar in the tea to a half sugar with the goal of eventually eliminating the sugar altogether. So right now I'm kind of at that half sugar stage. So how close am I going to be to my limit if I'm doing half sugar in the tea and maybe having 1 or 2 teas a day?
So yeah, that's actually really great. So a half sugar is going to be maybe around like 7 grams of sugar. So
that doesn't sound terrible.
No, it's not terrible. I think that you could go to 0 because you can change your taste buds. And if you are gradually weaning yourself off, you can probably switch to the regular, just no sugar tea, and it's going to start to actually taste really good.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I still, every now and then I go back to the one full sugar and I'm like, oh, that's delicious. But yes, I know too much sugar and paying attention to it. So hopefully I will get there in just the regular clear steep tea and the black coffee for everyone else. Excellent. Okay, so those are sort of your best and worst case within when you're ordering a coffee and putting stuff in it, what you might want to choose. But if you really want to go to your worst option and move away from the brewed black coffee or the tea, what is the worst beverage on their menu?
So unfortunately, the worst option usually are the ice caps. So these are usually
delicious.
I know they're so good because it's 500 calories, 66 grams of sugar. So you're more than double your daily sugar with that one, and 18 grams of fat. And then the absolute worst thing on the menu is the Oreo ice cap, which is 720 calories, 89 grams of sugar, and 34 grams of fat. So it is my professional nutritionist opinion that you should not drink your Oreos. If you're going to have Oreos, please chew them.
I'm writing this down. You should not drink your Oreos. I mean, just the sheer number of calories for most of us, that's about half of your calorie intake or close to it for the day.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I would say that's a low calorie intake for a person, for a human adult. But you are looking like that's a lot, right? Because that's also not going to fill you up.
Yeah, right.
You're going to be hungry 30 to 60 minutes afterwards, and your body's going to want protein and it's going to want nutrients. So you're going to want to have a whole meal after that when you've had the calories of basically a whole meal.
Those are the opposite of nutrient-dense calories. Okay, so maybe closer to a third of your, I mean, I guess your daily recommended calories depends a lot on man, woman, age, how active you are.
Exactly, 100%.
Yeah, okay. All right. So no ice caps. I'm going to tell my son. He's going to be very upset. Best and worst breakfast items. I'm kind of good here, but I'm not the very best. So tell me what the best item is.
Okay, they just added this to the menu, which I'm really excited about. So the spinach and egg white omelet bites. These are a really great option at only 130 calories and 13 grams of protein. So that is a really great snack option. If that is a full meal, I would do 2 packs of those to get 26 grams of protein. That would be my number one choice if I had to eat breakfast there.
Okay, so I have been going to the omelet bites when I do go for breakfast. I used to get the sandwich. Now I get the omelet bites, but I get the bacon and cheese ones and not the spinach and egg white ones. So am I still kind of okay in there?
I think that's still a better option. That would be my next best one.
Okay, I'll take that.
So that would be the second best if those aren't an option for you, the spinach and egg white ones, or if you just don't like those ones, then I would definitely do the bacon ones.
Okay, worst option for breakfast.
The Farmer's Breakfast Wrap. So this one has almost 700 calories, 1,300 milligrams of sodium, and 42 grams of fat. And it has a lot of saturated fat in it and very little fiber. So when we're looking at sodium, we have to look at that with a lot of fast food restaurants. So ideally, your goal is 1,500. So that's almost the amount you're getting in that wrap, but you definitely want to stay under 2,300. That's like the upper limit of sodium per day.
I remember quite a while ago when I was trying to watch calories specifically. Like I wasn't looking at much else, just calories. And I would say, well, if I need a fast food lunch, I could go to McDonald's and I could get just the cheeseburger, like just, the one that the kids have in the Happy Meal, not the big one, cheeseburger and a Diet Coke. And I would be under 300 calories, it'd be okay. And then someone said, but have you looked at the sodium in that? That's where it gets you, right? The sodium in those fast food. Yeah.
100%.
Okay. Let's move on to lunch. I'm feeling really good about lunch. Your best lunch option.
Okay. So I would say the best lunch option, if I had to get lunch at Tim Hortons, would be the chili. So the chili, depending on the size you get, the small has 19 grams of protein and the large has 27 grams of protein. So that's a really good amount for a meal. It's also a really great source of fiber. So you get kidney beans in there, tomatoes, mushrooms, peppers. So I wouldn't say it's like the healthiest, like homemade, your grandma made it chili, but for, lunch out that you need to grab, I think it's a really great option. It's not, if you're just looking at calories, then you would choose one of the soups. However, the soups have very minimal protein and, debatable fiber content. So you're going to be hungry again 30 to 60 minutes later. So that's why I would go for the chili, because you're getting like the most nutritional bang for your buck with that one.
How many calories in the chili? Is it fairly significant?
So the small has 310, and then the large has 430.
Okay.
Whereas like the calories of the soup is going to be around like 130, 200. But again, like that's not going to fill you up. So you need to actually add more to that meal.
And then you're going to eat more bread alongside the soup, probably.
Exactly.
So when I order my chili, which is what I just ordered for lunch ahead of time.
Amazing.
Do I get to eat the bread with it, or do you suggest not?
I think that depends on you and your goals.
Okay.
So, you know, and how hungry you are. Like there's a lot of factors with that. So
and how much other bread you're having during the day. Yeah.
Exactly. And how much other sugar you're having. So you could choose either sugar in your tea or maybe bread with your chili.
All right. Worst lunch item.
The Hat Trick flatbread pizza has the highest amount of calories on the menu at 930.
Oh my
It has 52 grams of fat, and it has 2,300 milligrams of sodium, which is actually almost 2,400 milligrams of sodium, which is more than the recommended limit. So just with that one meal, that is an excessive amount of calories and sodium and fat with that.
All right. I've never had it, and I probably never will now that I know.
Yeah, I think if I was going to get pizza, I would go somewhere better than Tim Hortons.
Okay.
Get a really good pizza.
Good advice. Okay. For everyone who's stuck with us and maybe is wondering about the treats, the best treat you can buy at Tim's.
So the best treat you can buy if you need something sweet, I would say, is the Greek yogurt parfait with berries. So you're getting protein, 8 grams of protein, 3 grams of fiber. So it's a nice sweet option with protein and some nutrients. However, I know that we don't usually go to Tim Hortons for yogurt. So if you need to have a donut, I would suggest having 1 to 2 Timbits. So around 4 or 5 Timbits equals a whole donut usually with calories and fat. So if you can stick to just like 1 to 2 and just have that little snack and get that craving fixed, then I think that's a good option too.
I am doing better on all of this than I thought. However, your worst item I know is going to be one that I used to indulge in fairly regularly when my kids always wanted muffins when we went to Tim's. They're not great, right?
Yeah, so this is what's really deceiving is that you think that a muffin is a healthy item. And so you go and you think, oh, I'm not going to give my kid a donut, so instead I'll get them a muffin. And of course they're going to choose the chocolate chip muffin. And that has, again, the highest amount of calories of the treats, 20 grams of fat, 39 grams of sugar. So keep in mind that a can of Coke has 36 grams of sugar, and we know that we would never feed our kids a can of Coke for breakfast. Well, most people won't. Mm-hmm. So you're basically giving them the sugar of a Coke or a Pop for breakfast. So it's actually better usually to have one donut than it is to have a muffin at Tim Hortons.
Okay. So some great advice, great items. Overall, when in doubt, you go for the smaller portions and you make sure that there's some merit to the item, maybe some protein or some kind of nutrition in what you're ordering that's gonna make it, not terrible.
Absolutely. I think you can always find something healthy everywhere you go. Like I've been a nutritionist for 16 years and I eat at any kind of restaurant because, it's like the portion, choosing the smaller size, making sure you're getting protein or nutrients in there. And then don't be afraid to ask for what you want. So if you want it to be half sweet or unsweetened, or if you want sauce on the side, you're the paying customer. You're allowed to, be nice about it, but ask for what you want.
Half cream cheese or whatever it is.
Exactly.
All right, Rachel, thank you very much. I really appreciate this.
Thanks so much for having me, Patricia.
Rachel Caven, clinical nutritionist and founder at Caven Nutrition.